All right, this is the weigh-in. This is the sixth. This is the first day of the 6th week of going to the gym, losing this weight, with nutrition. I'm doing cardio. I'm doing weight training, and I'm tracking my food to about 1,500 calories a day, give or take. But that's the goal. And I went down 1.6 pounds, so now I'm at 251. Okay, that's good. But to be honest, to tell you how I feel, I really feel like I'm not making any progress. I'm not feeling the buzz. And this is a time where you have to really remember to remember why you're doing this, because it's just people don't care. People don't care about this. People are not going to care about your weight loss journey. Everybody's living their own lives, has their own responsibilities, and you wish you had that party or someone there, that's like right there with you, that's like doing it, or some sort of motivational thing. And I've done vlogs before in the past, especially my running, how you cannot rely on motivation. And this is one of those weekends, and this is one of those times where I do not feel motivated at all. I'm only just committed now. I really don't feel motivated at all right now. And that could change. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, telling him what I'm doing. He's like, "Yeah, that's great. That's easy for you. You don't really have a kid and family." I was like, "Okay." Uh, don't think, and I'm like, it's not easy for anybody. He made that statement. I think a lot of times, even for me, like I think we look at the achievement of others, who get what we want for ourselves, and then we come up with a storyline rationalizing how it's easier for them to achieve it than for me, right? And I think he did that. I think I do that. I'm thinking like, what would it even be like with a family to lose weight? Well, I'm preparing for a family. I'm preparing for a family. Weight loss. I'm losing weight so I can be healthier, so I can better be a better person for my family. I'm preparing for that. I'm preparing for it. And just because I'm single and there's no family here, actually, in my opinion, it's easier to not be motivated because you really don't have anybody directly depending on you. You really don't have any children or a spouse uh, to worry about. And to me, I feel like that could be strong motivating factors to make you want to make changes and to make you want to do better. And I could think of other people getting what I want, people getting married and having families and all this other stuff. And like, well, it's easy for them. They grew up in a place, they never moved away. So, they had their high school sweetheart to marry or something like that. And then naturally, like, for instance, like I have a friend back at home who has a lot of kids. And from the outside looking in, I could look at them and say, well, it's easy for you to have a family. Y'all met in high school, and y'all had children at a very young age, and y'all always stayed in that city, which is like the perfect storm to have that, and to have a beautiful family, have beautiful children. And I could say, well, that's easy for them, but but I think they make it look good, but I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's easy, but I think that they are so versed in the raising of their children and the culmination of their family that it's become their lifestyle, and they don't know any other way other than that. Same for me. It's me, I have to cultivate a lifestyle of doing this for myself, even if there's no one counting on me to do it. And sometimes that can create a sad emotion because, like, damn, okay, nobody really needs me to do this. It's just me that needs me to do this. But if I were to look back on it 20 years from now, I think that I would have rather fought for this by myself without relying on motivation, without relying on a spouse to depend on me or children to depend on me to get better, to do this. And I think that's important, But I try not to. For me, I think, and when he said that, that kind of shows me, okay, well, that's why you're weak. That's why you are where you're at now. Him and I both lost our fathers, and it was to heart. It was for heart issues. It was heart issues. Now, the interesting thing was like I was motivated to lose weight before my dad started having heart issues. Like I was and telling him about it, and he was cheering me on, and he was very proud of me for that. I mean, he was just proud of me by default, which is good, and I think a lot of children don't have that. But then when you move forward, um, I was making changes before that because I was just looking at the narrative of black men. That's another reason why I'm doing this. It's just like black men. It's I think it's an untold story. I think the struggle of women is a very big narrative, but I think that the narrative of a African American men's struggle is not really out there like that. Um, yeah, there's yeah. But you know, if that's not a clue to get your stuff together, I don't know what is. Now, I was looking at my grandfather and my dad and myself, and you kind of look at those who came before you. It's like that's the direction you're going in, and in that direction, my grandfather, in my opinion, and from where I saw as a child and young adult, that he was very happy, but he was extremely overweight. That's just let's call it. This the truth. He was extremely overweight, and then I looked at my dad, and my dad was going that same direction, and then I saw myself going in that same direction, and I said to myself, well, I don't think that's right. I think that there's a different way, and I don't think that obesity is genetic. The reason I don't think obesity is genetic because I looked at pictures from my grandfather when he's younger, not as big. Pictures of my dad in high school, he was not fat at all. So it has to be lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle thing. I don't think it's genetics that are passed down to make people obese. I think it's the lifestyles that are passed down, and the nutritional education was passed down, and definitely there wasn't any nutritional education for weight loss. There was nutritional education on how to have good food and to gather and have a good time. But as far as knowledge on what to eat, how to eat, and how much of it you should eat was not passed down. Let's get what you want and enjoy. And unfortunately, that leads to health complications. And it's not easy for me because this is something I wanted my dad to see me finally get to the end to, and he'll have to see it in the spirit realm. And and at the same time, it's like as an adult, you don't really get. I guess being an adult and by yourself, you don't really get the pats on the back you'd like to have 24/7. You don't get to have that energy. So it I think it's just hard for everybody. And this is hard, but I'm committed. I'm sticking to it. And I have to rely on my knowledge and rely on my wisdom now because my motivation is totally out the door. My motivation is totally out the door. Um, I'm not feeling it. But if I let that be the reason I stop eating the food the way I'm supposed to, if I let that be the reason I stop going to the gym, then I will never see me reach the 200-pound goal, which is something I wanted to do for a long time. And we're about to be 50 pounds away from that. And each week since I started going to the gym and running and doing my nutrition, I have lost, let's say, an average of 2 pounds. Average. So, with that being done, it was a good weigh-in. I'm not the emotionally highest right now, but I'm committed to this and I will keep going. All right, I'll see you on the next video.